Hi everyone. Today I'm going to go over our friend Eddie Van Halen. So I want to talk about him a little bit from last time in review before we jump into new stuff. So really quickly, our friend Eddie Van Halen was born January 26, 1955 in Amsterdam, Netherlands. He's a Dutch-born American musician, songwriter, producer. He and his entire family moved to Pasadena, California in 1962. They learned piano at age 6 and would commute to San Pedro to their teacher to learn how to play. They didn't learn how to read music. Our friend Eddie Van Halen preferred to improvise after listening to artists like Mozart and Bach. And they co-founded the Van Halen band. So both Eddie and his brother Alex created that band together in 1972. So we're going to actually continue that and talk about that right now. So again, like I had mentioned just a second ago, Eddie and his brother Alex formed the band in 1972, and 2 years later, the band Van Halen became an important part of the Los Angeles music scene while playing at well-known clubs like the Whiskey A Go-Go. In 1977, Warner Records offered Van Halen a recording contract. By the early 1980s, Van Halen was one of the most successful rock acts of their time. Their album 1984 went 5 times platinum a year after its release, with the single Jump being the band's first and only #1 pop hit and got them a Grammy nomination. We listened to Jump last time. The band won the 1992 Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Performance with Vocals for the album For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Eddie engaged in several projects outside of his band, doing solo work, partnerships with his brother on film contracts, as well as musical collaborations with many different artists like the Kiss bassist Gene Simmons, Nicolette Larson, Michael Jackson, Brian May, Sammy Hagar, Black Sabbath, Roger Waters, the band Toto's guitarist Steve Lukather, and LL Cool J. You might have heard of some of these artists, but if you haven't, that's okay. In addition, Eddie made appearances in the music video for Frank Sinatra's LA Is My Lady, an episode of Cafe Americain starring his then wife, Valerie Bertinelli, and an episode of 2.5 Men. You might have heard of that show before, still on TV. Eddie was awarded 3 patents related to guitars: a folding prop to support a guitar in a flat position, a tension adjusting tailpiece, which just tweaks the guitar sound a little bit, and an ornamental design for the headstock, which is just the top part of the guitar. In February of 2017, Van Halen donated 75 guitars from his personal collection to the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, which is a program that provides musical instruments to students in low-income schools. It's pretty awesome, actually. Now, the band, I want to talk about that a little bit outside of Eddie by himself. So the band Van Halen, as everybody knows them, was formed in Pasadena in 1972, as I mentioned earlier. This band is credited with restoring hard rock to the forefront of the music scene. So basically just making it popular. And they're known for their energetic live shows. You'll see that in a little bit. From 1974 until 1985, the band Van Halen consisted of Eddie Van Halen as the guitarist, Eddie's brother, the drummer, Alex Van Halen, their main vocalist, David Lee Roth, and their bass guitarist, Michael Anthony. The song Jump that we listened to last time and mentioned earlier is their only #1 internationally known single. And in 1985, their lead singer, David Lee Roth, decided to leave the band to try his own solo career. Sammy Hagar was his replacement. And with Hagar, the band released a total of 4 US #1 multi-platinum albums over the course of 11 years, which is pretty awesome. Hagar ended up leaving the band in 1996, shortly before the release of the band's first greatest hits collection, which is the Best of, Volume 1. A little bit more about the band real quick. As of 2007, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and was one of the only 5 rock bands with 2 studio albums that sold more than 10 million copies in the US, and is tied with another band for the most multi-platinum albums by an American band, which is pretty awesome. Also, Van Halen has charted a total of 13 #1 hits on the Billboard's mainstream rock chart. VH1 ranked the band 7th on a list of the top 100 hard rock artists of all time. As of March 2019, Van Halen has sold 56 million albums in the US and more than 80 million worldwide, making them one of the best-selling groups of all time. On October 6th, 2020, our friend Eddie Van Halen passed away from cancer. He had first confirmed his initial cancer diagnosis in April of 2001, and the band actually still continues to play to this day. I brought up his passing right now only because that is what stopped him from being in the band. That was his last, obviously time of being a part of it. So today we're going to listen to a song called Right Now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it before we listen to it. So this song is on the album For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. The lyrics reflects on living for the moment and not being afraid to make any changes. Van Halen wrote and produced the song. According to Eddie, the instrumental music actually dates back to 1983, before the song Jump, and according to them, quote, it didn't come out until about 1992 or 93 or something like that, because nobody wanted anything to do with it, end quote. The main vocalist, Sammy Hagar, said he was writing the lyrics to this song at the studio very late one night, and he heard Eddie Van Halen in a room next to him working on a piano melody. Hagar said he suddenly realized that, quote, we were writing the same song. So he walked into the room and began singing his words over Eddie's music. Hagar says that the lyrics for Right Now were the best he ever wrote for a Van Halen song. Quote, Eddie and I wanted to get serious and talk about world issues, end quote. Different parts of the video had been used, or their music video had been used from Van Halen's 2004 concert tour to make it more of like a political statement later on. We're going to actually watch a live performance of their song Right Now, and you'll kind of get an idea of the lively, energetic craziness that is their performance. You'll get a good idea of what it would be like to be at their concert. So let's take a listen. It's a little bit on the longer side. However, once we get to about like the 4-minute mark, the solo for Eddie Van Halen is amazing. So totally worth watching the whole thing. So let's just take a listen. If hopefully you enjoy it. So if you don't know it, that's totally fine. If you do know it, cool. You might have heard it before because their music is still played on the radio today. So it might be familiar to you. So let's take a listen and see what we think of their concert. Here we go. So their shows are pretty awesome. People really enjoyed going to their concerts because they're so lively and crazy and fun. Watching them play and get into it is really cool. I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll see you next time. So thanks again for listening. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. See you next time.